Get some parts off that 8N. It's a little underpowered to run that brush cutter, but we're going to try it. I'm going to start with this bike. The caliper bolts are bent on it, and I wasn't able to find the caliper bolts separate. And the threads are a little bit stripped in the caliper itself. So I'm going to put a new caliper on it, and we've got some exhaust gaskets and springs. I'm also going to put a new exhaust stay on this bike, because that's what this piece is called. This one's all dry rotted. So we'll start with this exhaust. Just a couple bolts and a couple springs, and I'm hoping I can just slip it out without even taking this muffler off. Let's see if I can get this off here. Oh yeah, it took like 2 seconds to get this muffler off. Looks like maybe somebody put a bolt through this one. I don't know. But the spacing was a little off on it, and it looks like the spacing might be slightly different than the new one. Hopefully it lines up better. Let's see if we can get these guys out of here. I was leaking that 2-stroke juice right out of here. New kit comes with a couple springs. I think they're stainless. I don't know if this is going to do that much, but we'll see. Yeah, that was from the Katana brakes. See those new springs and those gaskets do. I kind of doubt it's going to make a difference, but we'll see. It does leak out of this slip joint here, but I guess that's just the way it is. The camera wasn't on there. I just switched the piston back in. Don't know where I left off. I do see another plate in here that we had left over. I didn't know where it went, but now I know where it goes. And the way the caliper is, it's impossible to get this off without taking the wheel off. I don't feel like doing that. I'm just going to cheat this the slider bolt out here. Ass backwards way of doing this, but I suppose I should check the manual on this too. The pads are worn totally unevenly. This thing is probably sitting on there like that. I have a new brake rotor and new pads coming in the mail, but they didn't get here yet. And I'm gonna slap her together. We're gonna run her this weekend again. Caliper's floating on there pretty nice now. Seems to be square. Took her for a little test drive. She locks at the back tire now. And it's not binding when it's neutral and you're just pushing it. Here's the manual. It's kind of annoying. Open it up once. They got 3 different languages saying the same thing next to each other. So the book's huge. But we'll figure out how to replace this coolant here. Determine that it's that bolt right there. That looks like a mounting bolt, doesn't it?
Well, it's coming out of there pretty good, isn't it?
It sure is. Has a reposition.
I think it is a mounting bolt. It looks like. No, it's got a copper washer on there.
Oh, yeah. We just got some premix, minus 45 degrees Fahrenheit. You can see that blade came around and gashed into here. Paulie's going to heat her up. We'll see how straight he can get her.
Big hammer.
Get me a bar. It's folded over at a point where the hammer
Get some more heat in there. Yeah. only welding with brush rod bend.
Just bang it back.
Yeah, bang it back and we'll weld it back up. That must have made a hell of a racket when that thing hit that. Looks like there's plenty of clearance now anyway.
So you'll see how this didn't even want to come apart before. And now it glides in really easy, you know, like that. And the end, I chamfered, you know, because from beating on that, it must have mushroomed it out. But I beveled all the corners, so she goes in really nice. It should work. You know, as you lift it up and go down, this thing gets longer and shorter and still, you know, won't bind up. But we'll get this all cleaned up, painted, and it won't rust.
You can see the marks on there from our slide hammer.
Oh, jeez.
But I believe this is how it locks in the PTO splines of the tractor,
Okay.
and it's frozen.
Oh, that's why in the PTO shaft you have a groove going around it.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm thinking there's probably like a flat spot in there when you depress this, but we got to get this freed up.
Let's just see if we can. It did it. I had it soaking with.
Yeah, we got it. It's got to snap back though. Oh yeah, there's a showing a flat spot in there once.
It just hasn't been used enough. They sit outside. We're gonna have everything inside the barn. It's cool now.
I don't know if I showed it, but that's the fill hole, and it's actually full up to that. All these bearings and seals must be good in this gearbox. This is actually a vent. There's like a little spring in there and a ball, and then if you see the hole in the top, it vents pressure out.
Can you turn this? Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the blades are swinging around underneath there.
That's a killer machine.
Yeah, this is
I've seen where it just had chains.
I got a soft bolt. Hopefully it's soft enough to shear.
Yeah, see these move if they hit something.
Yeah, show us. Yeah, that whole blade will kick back on that disc, and then the momentum I think keeps them out when she's swinging around at full speed.
Centrifugal. So when we were dumping out the gas, we found like wads of felt or something in there, and then this thing was clogging up, and then we're checking this, and it's like, what good is this? You know, the gas can go straight down. Like there must have been a top on here or something, and from blowing backward, it blew out. But there's a tube that the fuel would go in. Then there's a hole way down at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like it comes out of both. I don't know what good this tube is here if you can have gas going down in a hole down there. There's no lever for reserve or regular.
It was plugged the low hole with that felt.
So it blows through. You open up the valve, gas is gonna go through. Now we're just gonna clean out the gas tank, and hopefully we won't have problems with fuel starvation now. And I'll clean it with some carb cleaner, just so it looks clean. And we took the alternator in, tested fine, so that should charge up. And a water pump is gonna be fixed.
Got a couple chunks of like wood or something out of this gas tank.
I was like, how do you pour gas into a gas tank and get a chunk that big of crap out of your gas tank into this gas tank? What are you doing with your gas tanks? You know? So as we clean this knob off, it says main 2 turns. So the highest tube would be just, 1, 2. And then it would be running off of that. So you're in the back 40, and all of a sudden, blah, 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 she starts to kill. Then you're like, whoa, and you reach down, and then you spin it all the way out. and then it goes to reserve, it says full open. So then you can make it back to the barn or wherever you put your extra can of gas if you're doing a whole, like you went far out and you're doing a whole back 40. You'd have to make it back to the gas can so you can put some more gas into the tractor. Whenever you have a tube that's higher than the other one, there has to be a reserve and a regular.
Yeah, we had it full open, and the whole bottom of the screen was filled with like
Junk.
felt, so the reserve was plugged. Pretty sure this tractor is going to run like a champ now.
Yep.
I just popped a couple new U-joints in the drive shaft, and all in all, it's a pretty nice piece now. I think I have a dated video on doing U-joints. I might make a new one soon. Probably a million of them out there. Just slapping a quick coat of paint on everything. I would have liked to have painted this whole brush cutter, but the weekend is upon us and we're getting ready for the big Green Acres video. We're going to work on this 8N hood a little bit. There's a spot weld here, and these braces hold the tank. That one's broke. So I'm just going to clean this up and weld her together. I'm going to do a couple rosette welds and then weld the edge. I'll grip that down with a vice grip or something. There it is. That'll rip before it breaks. Only other thing I'm going to do to this right now is put a piece of heat shrink over this. And we had the generator tested good. So we're going to try polarizing the charging system on this tractor, see if we can get it to charge. Stay tuned for the Green Acres video. We're going to attempt to run the brush cutter, and we'll probably show that versatile 150 tractor, and who knows what else.